Good evening, sir. Good evening, classmates. So, tonight I will be reporting about my term paper regarding the China's culpability for the global spread of corona or COVID-19. So, let's go first to the issue whether or not China should be held liable for the spread of coronavirus internationally. So, to answer the issue, it is important to remember the timeline of events. So let's go to the events. On December 31, 2019, so it is widely considered to be originated such virus in Wuhan, Hubei province, province of China, where in such initial cases can be traced back or within the Wuhan market, wherein live trades of bats, snakes, or badgers and pangolins. There is how that day, according to report, Wuhan Municipal Health Commission said that there was a viral cases or cluster of cases of viral pneumonia. So a day after, January 1st, WHO or the World Health Organization requested an information regarding such cases. However, it was only January 3 wherein the Chinese authorities provided the response. However, such response lacked information. Now, so there was a meeting made by the WHO in January 6, 2020, and record shows, according to them, that China was not sharing enough data to assess how effectively the virus is spread between people or what risk it poses to the rest of the world. So after that, after January 6, here comes January 2020. That uh, that day, China confirmed that coronavirus was already contagious, was 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 contagious. Now, so as a result, WHO declared a global emergency. It must be noted that when WHO announced that coronavirus uh, was a global emergency, there was already a 7,818 total confirmed cases already worldwide. So by the time months later, March 11, 2020, WHO declared COVID-19 as a global pandemic affecting 120 million COVID-19 cases globally and above 2.6 million deaths were reported. Now, let's go to the violation against international health regulations, which was adopted on the 23rd of May 2005. Now, what is the purpose of this regulation? Now, the purpose is to prevent, protect against, control, and provide a public health response to the international spread of disease in ways that are commensurate with and restricted to public health risks and which avoid unnecessary interference with international traffic and trade. Specifically, under the same regulation, Article 6, which provides that state party shall notify WHO by the most efficient means of communication available by way of the national AHR focal point and within 24 hours of assessment of public health information of all events which may constitute a public health emergency of international concerns within its territory in accordance with the decision instrument as well as any health measure implemented in response to those events. Now, Article 7 of the same regulation provides that If the state does not have specific information on the situation, it should keep the WHO informed as thoroughly as possible during unexpected and unusual public health events. In the same provision, article, state parties shall continue to communicate to WHO timely, accurate, and sufficiently detailed public health information available to it on the notified event where possible, including case definition, laboratory result, source and type of risk, number of cases, and deaths, conditioning affecting the spread of disease and the health measures employed, and report, when necessary, the difficulties faced and support needed in responding to the potential public health emergency of international concern. So what basically means these two articles is that China has the responsibility to notify within 24 hours the WHO, because China is a member of WHO. Being a member of WHO with information thoroughly, information accurate and in detail, sufficient in detail, like laboratory result, like that. Okay, before I will conclude, let's go first to the breach of other international laws and instrument. The first no harm the first principle that was violated by China is that the no harm principle of the United Nations 2001. So what is this basically? What about this no harm principle? This principle merely speaks about the obligation of states, or duty of states in order to prevent significant transboundary harm or at any event to minimize the risk. It must be noted, however, that this obligation starts from the moment the state has knowledge of such potential harm or risk. Now, what basically this no harm principle is means is that it does not require states to actually prevent or stop the harm from happening. Instead, it requires them to attempt to do so, or to minimize the risk to the best of their abilities. That is the no harm principle. Second is the Treaty of Friendship. The 1946 Treaty of Friendship, Commerce and Navigation of United States of America and Republic of China, specifically Article 4, which states that on the territory of each contracting party, the national of the other contracting party shall receive the most constant protection and security for their persons and property, and shall enjoy in this respect the full protection and security required by international law. Okay. Now, in conclusion, let's go to the conclusion. Now, in conclusion, so the issue is whether or not China should be held liable, right? Should be held liable internationally for the spread of coronavirus. Now, in conclusion, first, China failed to comply on the 1st of January 2020, wherein the WHO requested information of the reported cases in Wuhan from the Chinese authorities, and yet they provided a response on January 3, 2020. So, there was actually a suppression of vital information after the initial detection. For failing to be transparent about its contagious and deadly effects. Consequently, there is a great increase for all nations. Now, in addition, China, being a member of World Health Organization, failed to duly notify the WHO within 24 hours and communicate timely, accurate, sufficient, detailed public information of events that may constitute that constitute public health emergency of international concern within its territory. Therefore, there is a liability between Republic China to the international community. Now, second, Chinese authorities falsely report that there is no human to human transmission of the disease, which resulted to the spread of coronavirus disease, wherein loss of millions of lives and adverse effect on the global and national economies. Now, this act by the Chinese Republic of China tantamount to the negligence under the law of responsibility as stated in the provision of articles on the responsibility of states for internationally wrongful acts of 2001 and no harm principle. Well, what is the meaning of no? We all know that under this principle, the obligation starts from the moment the state has knowledge of such potential harm or risk, which China failed to do so. And lastly, China violated the Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora which prohibits the trade of endangered species, and Treaty of Friendship, Commerce and Navigation between the United States of America and the Republic of China, and state responsibility under international law for failure to protect its people within its jurisdiction. Now, if the United can prove that there is a failure on the part of China to provide constant protection and security for their person and property as provided under 1946 Treaty of Friendship, such state whose citizens and economies have been adversely affected by the spread of coronavirus disease to its territory are entitled as a matter of right to institute actions before the International Court of Justice seeking for the award of damages and full reparation against China in line with the provisions of Article 31 and 34 of the Articles on the Responsibility of State for Internationally Wrongful Acts of 2001. And I think that is all, sir, classmates. So China should be held liable for the non-disclosure of the full information regarding the disease. Thank you, sir.